Hey guys, welcome back. This is episode number 12. Dose.
I hope I did that right.
Dose. You know what I'm saying? Dose.
Okay,
Anyways,
like that.
so what are you doing? Doing your fingers? All right. You have just tuned in to Hate It or Love It.
And this is a special edition because this is coming to you straight from my co-host.
Yes, this is my first one. I hope you guys like it. I'm really not good at like putting videos together.
Oh, you're fantastic.
It was really nerve-wracking, to be honest with you. Don't even know if it was enough content. Anyways, you already know the goal is to break the image of tradition
while showing the beauty of walking in wisdom,
bringing it raw and keeping it 100.
With Christ at the center, you're either going to hate it or love it.
You better love it. I'm your host, Vanessa, and this is my co-host,
Clarissa Bell.
Hey, we're going to get right into it. So, yeah, this is something near and dear to my heart, the safety of children. I was not protected as a child. A lot of people hate hearing the story, but it is real facts, okay? It's the first story I was able to tell in my life. I was trafficked as a child, sold 2 times, beaten, molested, all that shit. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and get...
You know, we're going to cut into it, but I think it's interesting the way that people handle it. Some people lock up. Some people become bitter. Mm-hmm. For you, like the way that you've handled it, you're so open about it.
Sometimes people are like, are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm like...
Because you share it as if it's like, yeah, you know, it happened to me. Yeah.
Well, okay, so let me just run back. I went through all those stages. Mm-hmm. At first, it was something that was never supposed to be talked about. I'm 39, okay? So at first, it was something that was never supposed to be talked about. Then second, I was angry. I was angry at my mom, and like I didn't talk to her for years. And then third, I just cried. I talked about it. I was like this, but every time I talked about it, I'd be like, I know what happened. You know, and now if like I was to get into detail, there's certain parts where I do still tear up a little bit. But now it's like, you know,
it happened.
Yeah, it happened and it's real, you know, and you can move from it. So I think that's why I really like to say it that way, because it's like, yeah, I can say it without this weight on me because God has helped that weight, you know, because now I feel lighter. And I was just thinking the other night, like, because I know sometimes you're like, you always bring it up. And like it plays back in my head. Like, I swear to you, no matter who I talk to about it, I think of you because you're so like mean sometimes. I love my friend, but sometimes you're like very brutal. You know what I mean?
No, I'm honest.
All right.
By the grace of God. Mm-hmm. I think that
a little beating around the bush don't matter. You know, a little sugar, you know what I'm saying?
No, honestly. And it's like, I wasn't always like that either. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think that by the grace of God, it's not denying that you feel or have experienced things. Mm-hmm. That's not it at all. Mm-hmm. To me, it's like, because of who he is and because of what he's done, I feel the freedom to be able to talk about things, you know, and being able to be free to talk about things. I think that I grow more and more in courage in being able to address things for what they are. Let's just get down to it. Like, I understand the feelings, I understand the emotions, but what's really going on at the root? And I think that that's the focal heart point of what God is doing when he challenges us in what we're feeling, what we're thinking. So when I come to you and I just say things the way that they are, it's not that I'm not being sensitive. It's just like, okay, I understand how you feel, but how do we go, like what you were saying, how do we go from there to here? Because you can't stay there. Right. You know, and if I coddle you, you'll stay there and you'll wallow in it.
Coddling is nice.
Oh, no.
Every baby likes it.
Not if it doesn't improve in your development as a person.
Right.
If you don't grow, then coddling doesn't help.
Right. Well, so the whole reason I wanted to bring up you and the way you approach things is because there were certain things, and I think that it happens to everyone. It's not like you to be like, you're a bad person.
You're mean.
Yeah. No, it's not like that. It's just like there's certain words or certain phrases that like anybody could say them, but then they like just stay there. And then like every time you're like, oh my God, remember when that person said that? And it's not the person, it's the words, right? Mm-hmm. But it's what the words make you feel. Anyway, so the point is that one thing that I really took from you is like, why do you always bring it there? And then like, I was praying about it and I was like, God, like.
No, but why did I say that to you?
That's besides the point. Because
no, that is the point.
Well, you can make that point after I finish my train of thought.
Okay.
So I'm like, God, like, why do I always have to bring this story up? And it just felt like God said, this is your story to tell. People need to hear about it. So go ahead. So tell me why. What was your reasoning?
There's one thing to say that this is something that happened to me and I want to deliver or help a lot of people that have gone through the same thing. But it was almost like when you mentioned it, it came from a point of sympathy almost sometimes.
And I could dig it, because I think that sometimes I'd say things that I feel like would offend other people, and I'd be like, wait a minute though. I was sold as a child, and because I can like kind of in my head remember like when I've brought it up, it's almost like, listen, don't be mad at me because I'm a victim too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And I get that that's not right.
Yeah.
So I have grown past that. But regardless of what the reasoning was, still had that thought, and it was like kind of feeling bad. I didn't know how to deal with it in a sense, and I guess it was a good thing too, because I was able to pray about it, and God was like, this is your story. So with that being said, we are going to talk about the hot topic, Balenciaga. That was my idea. Roll the first clip from the group of, I don't even know why this show's still on. I'm not sure, guys. Can you guys please stop watching it?
Yo, these women.
Hit the clip.
Okay. Balenciaga blames the production company for the ads. They have a kid posing with S&M stuff. But the set designer says Balenciaga executives were on the set. They knew what was happening. Are they taking a page from Trump's notebook and saying, I didn't know nothing. I know nothing. I say nothing. What's going on here?
I found this ad campaign particularly distasteful in this moment. So there's growing anti-LGBTQ sentiment right now, and how it's being framed is as portraying, trans people as groomers. This is a term you'll hear on the far right. They're groomers. This is where you get the anti-drag queen stuff that we're seeing. So Balenciaga played right into their hands by having kids in a sexualized manner, carrying something that represents, sex acts. I think it was a really bad misstep at a moment where it's just kind of a dangerous time to even give credence to those kind of insane takes.
Yeah, I mean, we can't even show the picture because it's so distasteful. But what's also very distasteful is like Balenciaga lately. I mean, their stuff is just ugly. I mean, the bag that their little girl is holding is ugly. Do you remember when Kim K was dressed in Balenciaga for the Met Gala? Look at that! Oh, she looked like a bat.
Kim Kardashian, who was the ambassador for this brand, is reevaluating her relationship with Balenciaga.
Yeah.
Okay, so just saying.
Oh, and I have
here we have a note.
Balenciaga has apologized and is taking legal action against
their
the production company North 6 and set designer Nicolas Desjardins. An agent for Desjardins said everyone from Balenciaga was on the shoot and was present on every shot and worked on the edit of every image in post-production, adding that he is being used as a scapegoat and is hiring a legal team. North 6 has declined to comment on the allegation.
Okay. Again, I don't know why you guys are still watching these people. First of all, who was talking about Trump? That's the thing that really just gets me. That was the first thing where I was like, really? Whatever her name is. I don't even know her name. What's her name?
Joyless Behar.
Yeah, because I don't even know. I know Sunny. Sunny, she just made a name for herself. Okay, so I know Sunny. But why? Why exactly? We're talking about Balenciaga and what they did. Why are you bringing Trump into it? That's how you guys got to know that they're on some shit. I mean, they are. Because why do they bring him up? What does that have to do with anything?
Actually, everything that they said had nothing to do with the situation itself.
Oh.
They didn't talk about the children, the fact that it was actual 100% perverse.
And you know
what are you guys talking about? You're talking about the ugly bags. And you're talking about, taking a page out of Trump's book. What about the people themselves and the fact that they did this with children? They never mentioned the children is what's disturbing to me.
Well, they did, right? They did mention the children. What they said, and this is what's really funny. I love how, like, if you get to know stuff, how the media plays on words and stuff. So they're like, oh, the images, we can't even show them. The images were fine, guys. If you guys could look up the story, you can. You can look the ads. The children look fine. One is on a couch. The other one's standing somewhere else. But the imaging and what they had inside of the actual shoot was the issue. The magnifying of it's somebody magnified. There was some papers.
The court documents.
The court documents were in the background, and it was advocating for child. Because we're not allowed to say that word, Corntography.
Pornography.
Yes. So it was a court case that happened back, I want to say in 2008. And it was like they wanted to be able to have
Pornography.
yeah, child type ones.
Yeah.
So they had the paperwork on somewhere, and then they had the child in the photo shoot. So it's like
With a bear in bondage
Right.
type gear.
right. So basically, they're just saying this is what we like. That's what they were saying, and so they didn't mention the documents. And I thought that was kind of funny how they didn't even mention like, oh, well, you know, and then they made it about anti-LGBTQ.
There you go. You can't get it right.
Girl, I could never get it right. And anybody who knows me, and if I ever say anything about that, people,
Let me tell you, she is so sincere. She literally can't get it right.
girl, I feel like it's a spelling bee.
Yeah.
LGBTQ
plus
YAT.
Yep.
I think. But to make it anti and to say that that's what the far right wants, it's like you said, not taking accountability.
No accountability.
Yeah, because it's not about being anti anybody. It's about just protecting children.
Actually, the ad itself had nothing to do with LGBTQ plus anything.
At all.
Anything. But it's almost like, don't look over here. Look over here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, over here. That's all I heard. And that entire thing. The fact that you would try to protect these people
Yeah.
by throwing out these trigger words like
Yeah.
Trump and LGBTQ or anti-LGBTQ, all of it is a distraction.
Anti-drag.
Right? So that you won't look at what they attempted to do, the message that they're trying to push, and that you would focus on something else that has absolutely nothing to do with what it is that they were trying to push.
And not only that,
It's
to make
disgusting.
conservatives look crazy.
No, they look crazy. I don't
do.
care.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, there are people who are part of the community that don't want for children to be exploited.
Absolutely.
And I think it's disrespectful for the
To
peop-
lump them?
Yes, it is disrespectful to say that trans people are for that, and the people in the community, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
To say that any of them are for the sexualizing of children, I think that's disrespectful. Because
It is.
Yeah, because if you had an ad that was to exploit children and you say it's anti-straight people, I would be mad because I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. That's not what we wanted. You know what I'm saying?
No, because I mean, I know people that are in same-sex relationships that to them it's like, I have an attraction to the same sex, but just because that's how I feel doesn't necessarily mean that I'm down with this.
And you know what's crazy? I just thought about it. It's the same thing they do with Democrats. If you're a Democrat, like, you know, if you're black, you got to be a Democrat. You know what I mean? And then if you're a Democrat, you have to be pro-choice. Or, I mean, yeah, pro-choice. That's the right one. You know what I'm saying? And it's not cool because it's like we can't be individuals. Voting is just one aspect of, a minuscule aspect of who you are as a person. You know, and what you do in the bedroom is also just a piece of you. Like to say you're going to walk around with the whole bedroom, like in, you know, metaphorically speaking. I don't know. I just think it's crazy. And these ladies are crazy. And speaking of crazy, let's listen to what Julia Fox had to say about it.
So you want to roll into the next
Oh,
one?
heck yeah. Do this one.
Guys love saying the like Holly weird, all the pedophiles in Holly weird. Listen up, faces. There's pedophiles in every industry. You want to go be a chef? You'll probably have some abusers over there. You want to go be a teacher? Abusers over there. You want to go be an engineer? Abusers over there. This isn't an issue with Hollywood. This isn't an issue with the fashion world. This isn't an issue with celebrities. This is an issue with men, God damn it! Men!
Julia, take a breath, girl.
Stupid.
That's number one. Number two, I put this video up because it's like the only person that I feel like actually came on camera. Everybody's like tweets, like Kim Kardashian came out, hers was a tweet. She was talking about I'm gonna reevaluate. Plus, I talked to them and they said they would never do it again. The reason I wanted to, put that clip is number one, like this misconception that only men are abusers is like so out of this world. And I feel like that's how a lot of people get away with, abusing kids. An abuser doesn't have a face or a sex.
Well, she's kind of not wrong to a degree.
How?
The reason why I'm saying that, and I don't mean that when she said it's an issue with men, the issue is sin. And regardless of, like, if you take
you mean man, like
mankind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when she
I don't
said,
think that's what she meant.
well, I know that's not what she meant, but that's why I
Okay.
said that she's not wrong to a degree.
Oh, okay.
Because sin, if you take everything that she just said, you can put that into everything. I mean, literally everything. Your office does not change the fact that you are a fallen man. You could be a teacher. You could be a police officer.
I could dig it.
You know what I mean? You could be a political official.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. The issue is not what it is that you're doing. It's what's going on in the hearts of man. You can be perverted. You could be wicked. You could be evil. Being a kindergarten teacher. You being a kindergarten teacher doesn't change the fact, oh, wait a minute, they deal with children. So they got to be a nice person.
Okay.
That's not how that works.
Right.
That's not how that works. So whenever you're talking about, there's corruption in the police force because, they're trying to kill a particular group of people. It's like, okay, well, like I could find corruption anywhere, literally anywhere, because it has nothing to do with the person's skin color, their gender, their job. It has nothing to do with that. It's the heart of a person. So to a degree, she's correct.
Yeah. I
But
can dig it.
not from the viewpoint that I think that she's coming from.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And she definitely wasn't coming from mankind. But also another reason I wanted to add that clip was because it's she's also correct that they're everywhere. That was like another thing that I could definitely agree that they're everywhere. They're wherever you work at, I'm sure somebody is a little crazy.
Maybe, but I don't think for her to be in Hollywood the way that she is, she probably sees it more than me and you would.
Well, yeah,
that's the environment in which she lives in, and I don't think that just because you see it in the environment in which you live in, that should be justified. Like, oh, we should just, it's everywhere because it's no, like you seeing it, that's a tragedy, but that doesn't make it okay.
And I'm gonna be completely honest, she really looks like hurt. Like the whole video, like I was looking at her eyes, and it's like when she said it, she was angry, but it's pain too. Like I felt the vibe, like it was pain. And then I kind of like scrolled through her, because I do that. Like if I see somebody, then I'm like, oh, I can't believe they said that. I go look at their profile and I'm like, okay, let me see what kind of person this is. And there's a lot of pain in her eyes, and it doesn't have to be that way, and if you ever see this video, I doubt she'll ever see it because she's, whatever. But like, just because you see it and you see it everywhere does not mean that you should just turn your face from it. Like, that's the problem. The problem is not just the people who commit these acts. It's the problem. The problem is also people who normalize it and say, well, I got to be in this this industry or whatever it is, so I guess I got to put up with that. No, you do not. Because that's why they're winning. That's why Balenciaga is still making business. That's why none of the celebrities who rep their brand is coming out and saying, you know what, not even Kim Kardashian herself with 4 kids talk about I'm a mom and all this kind of stuff. She didn't say, you know what, I am done with this business. Because Balenciaga, if that was the first time isolated incident, why did you wipe your whole Instagram page?
The whole thing.
The whole thing. All you got is an apology. What does that say to me? That means
that you're wrong.
Not only that means that wasn't the only time that you put these type of documents or whatever in your stuff. Actually, before they wiped their stuff, I seen the fashion show launch for those bags because it's like the gift bag for the season, whatever, right? First of all, they have people who look like they've been beat up, okay? And they have those bags. And then they also have one of the models walking with a baby. It looks like a real life baby. A black baby at that. I'm just saying. But either way, the fact is that you can't just stay silent. And I'm done, to be telling, because it's like we could talk about Black Lives Matter. It's just a real, we really need to release brutality. Oh my God, right? But then you talk about protect the kids. Oh, I don't. Like, really, y'all? Like, I am so annoyed. I am enraged, and I'm so over it because it's all in your faces, and you guys just want to ignore the fact that it's happening, and it's happening to our children. But guess what? It's also happening to immigrant children. Roll the clip.
The tax dollars of people who are listening are paying to put children in the hands of criminals. I said, I need to make you aware. And they said, Tara, we don't get sued by traffickers.
A government whistleblower has stepped forward to Project Veritas to detail her harrowing experience at the Department of Health and Human Services. In 2021, this whistleblower volunteered to assist HHS with the placement of unaccompanied minors and was deployed to the Migrant Emergency Intake Site in Pomona, California. There, she witnessed the agency failing these children, as she puts it, doing the work of the cartels on your tax dollars.
These vulnerable children, we care for them, we clothe them, we feed them. With your dollars and my dollars, we fly that product directly to the trafficker. God forbid it's sex trafficking.
Project Veritas embarked on a 9-month investigation across the country to corroborate our whistleblower's claims. So he attempted to traffic children, and he's still at address in Texas.
Yes, we have 44 unaccompanied children at that address. We have 25 unaccompanied children at that address.
Project Veritas put boots on the ground, visiting scores of addresses the whistleblower shared from case files she worked on. What we found was shocking.
¿Quién te patrocinó a ti?
La tía, pero me corrió en la casa. Ella me ofrecía, y a mí no me gustaba eso.
¿Te ofrecía qué?
Me ofrecía con los hombres, pues.
Pero ella, ¿cuántos hombres ella te obligó a estar con cuántos hombres?
Bueno, con muchos, ni por, porque no me gustaba lo que me decía, me obligaba.
¿Ella de verdad era tu tía o fue alguien que se...
Dice que ella me conocía desde chiquita, pero yo no la conocía.
The sponsor can hold up that order of deportation to that child and say, if you do not do what I say, I'm going to call ICE on you myself.
Sí me ayudó, nada más que yo me escapé y en la noche ella llamó a la migración.
I don't believe that this is something that HHS wants people to know.
So, when they promoted open borders, there's people who knew this is what their plan was. And this is actually the biggest business in America and around the world, okay? But a lot of people, they don't want to open up their eyes to it. But right here it is in your face. And I seriously say, what are you going to do about it? Are you just going to keep ignoring it? Balenciaga is just like, okay, now we got proof, guys. Now we got proof. Like, really, honestly, that's what Balenciaga is. It's not like, oh, wow, it's out of this world. Can't believe that happened. It's like, now, conspiracy theorists, now we have proof. Now what are you going to do?
I don't know. For me, it's like you see what this administration has done as far as completely opening up. It's been a business. It was always a business. And I think that was their number one beef with President Trump.
They was trying to mess.
He messed up the production. Like, we can't be as corrupt as we want to be. So production was halted. We had to go to an extreme level to make up for the years that was lost. Totally open.
Right.
And even if you put all that aside, look at everything else concerning children. There is such an attack on children.
There is.
Between, gender affirming. Affirming what? What are we affirming when it comes to children? Sexuality? What does? For DeSantis to come out and say, listen, we're doing a parental protection act. And for them to come out and say it's an don't say gay bill.
I got a bone with DeSantis, though.
What do you mean?
I got a bone to pick with him. He, basically there is hotels that have been in cahoots with trafficking. And they have these laws that came out and they're supposed to be fined. He has not fined any of them. Just makes me raise an eyebrow. Where's his head at? Do you really care about the kids? then it makes me wonder, is he part of, like, and this, I don't know, this is not part of what we're talking about, but.
I mean, there's a lot of things, because I could say the same thing about Governor Abbott when it comes of Texas with a lot of things that are happening down there. I think that, you know, to be fair, as much, I mean, there's so much that's happening in our country. There's so much corruption. It would be nice in a dream world to be able to squash it all out and just say, let's level the ground and build back up from the bottom.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
but I think
Abbott's
that there's
doing the same thing, to be honest with
no,
you.
but there's a lot of things that Abbott's doing that I'm just kind of like I don't like at all. I don't like what I'm hearing at all.
Right?
It's like there's just so much that
Right.
it's just like I don't get it. I don't get it. But I know that even with President Trump, like a lot of people had the same complaints about him. I think there's so much that has gone left in
You're
our
right.
country.
Yeah, you're
that
right.
it's like we have to pick our battles. It's not that we're saying that one is, you know, more important or insignificant than the other. But it's like, okay, how do we slowly begin to roll this thing back? And I think that there's so many
there are
things
a
that
lot
are,
of
I
issues.
mean, like we're really fighting
because we have the
many
kids
battles.
here. We have the kids here too. You know, where it's like they're not being trafficked, right? But they're in school and they're being attacked at school.
Yeah, and indoctrinated and, and sexualized. There's so many things.
Right. Oh,
you know, so
girl, we was at the toy store.
Go on and tell them at the toy store. Them hooker Barbies. I can't stand them hooker
Why?
Barbies.
Why? I was gonna make a little video and I still haven't, because I've been to the toy store. You already know I've been to a few times. But why are all the black dolls gotta look ratchet?
She ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. That's
Like-
the whole time I'm going down that aisle. It's just like,
Why? LOL, you gotta get it together, LOL.
no, LOL, just go out of business. Okay,
Right.
pack it up and go somewhere. That's what
Any
you
little
can
kid
do.
be like, I want an LOL doll. Oh, you know what? They were sold out. Here's a Barbie.
Right.
Here's chemistry Barbie.
Chemistry Barbie.
What was the other one?
I don't know.
Veterinarian Barbie. Veterinarian Barbie.
Right. Anything but that hooker Barbie.
Okay. But I did want to make sure I say this, because I think it's something that we need to understand, that the whole reason we didn't want the border open is because of the resources that we're lacking, so much so that our own people are out on the streets. We have addicts and we have homeless vets. Also, you know, the mentally ill. It's not funny, right? But like, I can't get my brain to comprehend vets as in veterans and vets as in veterinarian. Why? Because I just want to make sure that, you know, people know I don't think that topic is funny, you know, but it made me laugh because I almost said it again. You know what I mean? So, anyways, we have to like combat all these issues. I know you said that there's so many, but everybody got to take their lane. And for me, it's the children.
To me, I really feel like it's really, we could talk about all of these issues and they're massive. I mean, regardless of which, it doesn't matter what arena we go into. But I really think it boils down to the heart of the people and the fact that we're not having conversations. I find that wherever conversations are not being had, there's a lot of confusion because people have assumptions, but we don't have a common understanding of where are you coming from?
Well, that's
Where
true.
are you coming from?
That's true.
You know, what are you standing for? Well, what do you stand for? We don't. We just assume. I
That's true.
assume where you stand and you assume where I stand.
That's true.
And we don't really know where each other stands. And I think a lot of our problems stem from that. But for me, like I know that you were saying as far as like, you know, the children, all of that, and the resources, the vets, all of that. To me, it goes back to being a sovereign country. When did we lose that? There's no other country that does what we do. What we do is insane. It makes absolutely no sense. And whenever you can come, like as far as like just saying because they're poor or whatever their status is, that we're just supposed to take all of these people from all around the world. No, it was never supposed to. No other country does that.
Okay.
You know, even there are some countries that won't even allow you to come in. You have to come in through the merit system. What are you bringing to us? Because we're not going to let you in here so that we can support you. Like, there's no way for us to function with that.
That don't even make sense.
Like, are you smart? Do you invent anything? Like, what are you bringing to the table? That's how other countries do it. Even with other countries, you're not allowed to pass through their borders without having the proper documentation. If you don't, they turn you away. It has nothing to do with them being wicked. It's just that it's illegal. When did we become a country to where we have literally crafted sanctuary cities to be illegal against what is the law of the land? It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
We're a sanctuary city. What the hell does that mean?
Not only that, what makes me so peeved is that we're giving all this money to people who are not even living in, like, they're not from here. And the same token, we can allow people in America to suffer and go hungry while people who never lived here get here and get all this money, get all these resources. I mean, there's homeless shelters right now that are kicking Americans out for immigrants. That's not right.
That's not even the beginning. Girl, the list goes
I mean,
on
yeah,
as
yeah,
far as
yeah.
what this country does to those that have broken our laws to get here. But to get back to the children, it's just like, I think it's disgusting because at the end of it all, not only are we talking about what's happening in our education system, you know, what is happening down at our borders, what's happening with Balenciaga, all of that. You see, if you could just step back and just look at the picture and see who is actually standing to protect it, who won't talk about it,
A lot of people.
who is allowing it, and you find a lot of it being on the left. You can say what you want. The party of diversity, nah, it seems like a little bit more to me. It is absolutely wicked. And the fact that you can ignore all of this and then want to cry about slavery because Republicans are racist, but you don't care about the slavery that's happening with child trafficking.
Like, that's real slavery, bro.
Like happening in 2022.
Right now.
You know, you want to
They're
cry
being
about
sold.
16, 19. Like, that's what you want to cry about? Something you've never
Wayfair. Hello.
Yo, you've never experienced it. But there are people that are being sold. Children and women and men that are
men
being
and
sold.
boys.
You know what I'm saying? They do not care because it doesn't touch them. It doesn't touch them. It's irrelevant because you want to talk about something that you haven't experienced. Oh,
Yeah.
somebody don't like you. Somebody says something mean.
Yeah.
But this child right here,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? The administration that you are supporting because Black Lives Matters, you're okay with that, but you don't care about what's happening in the world actually in current date. I just can't get with it. I can't get with it. It's disgusting, all of it. And I do believe that God is bringing it all to an end.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be on and popping. Like, for me personally, for all this to surface, like for Project Veritas to come up with what they came up with, and like it's like you got Balenciaga and then you Project Veritas. To me, it's like not a coincidence. It really isn't. It's like, no, they coming out with all the guns, okay? Because if this had been a few years back, this wouldn't have even surfaced.
Probably not. Yeah, you're right.
You know, because Elon took over Twitter, right? So we're able to see more, and people are able to say more. You know, because a lot of that Balenciaga stuff was posted on Twitter. Then from Twitter, it went to, you know, TikTok, then TikTok, Instagram, you know what I mean? But then by then, it was everywhere. So much so everyone's talking about it, you know what I mean? But it's about to go on. I mean, it's about to go down. Let's go ahead and hit that last clip.
Today, the administration did allow one camera inside this facility in Carrizo Springs, Texas. The journalist was told not to speak with any of the 766 teenage boys. They're seen playing soccer. Here's a classroom. The sleeping quarters, 4 to a room. But this facility has never reached its 952-person capacity. And what the world saw today is a stark contrast to the overcrowded tent-like facilities like this one in Donna, Texas. Customs and Border Protection releasing this video showing children packed into pods, one housing more than 400 boys. There are only supposed to be 250 people inside this entire facility. The White House says they're working as quickly as possible to move these kids into shelters and homes. But critics say they moved so quickly to overturn former President Trump's hardline immigration policies that they did not have a plan in place on the ground to handle the surge that followed.
They're hungry, they're very tired, they say. And these little boys are traveling by themselves.
We met 9-year-old Justin and 10-year-old Joseph, little boys who traveled all the way from Honduras. They have no family with them. The group they're with, strangers, took them in along the way.
New videos released by the Department of Defense take us inside temporary processing centers for migrants. It's a glimpse of what conditions are like at the U.S.-Mexico border under the Biden administration. Crowds of children line up for oranges, milk cartons, and other food before sitting inside their plastic pods to eat. Numbers at the border have swelled now that some controversial Trump-era policies could be reversed. Between January and February 2021, encounters with unaccompanied children and single minors went up by more than 60%.
It's reported that the U.S. is one of the largest consumers of sex trafficking in the world.
People in America would throw a fit if they saw American children lined up down the street being sold for sex. But we don't see that, because it's not happening like that. It's happening online, on websites, in chat rooms, in private social media groups.
Currently, platforms are available that allow our boys and our girls to be auctioned off like cattle as sex slaves.
The results show us that traffickers are usually known to the child.
And in some cases, these women were telling me that their parents were the ones who were selling these women while they were children.
Our children are being manipulated and exploited. They're being drawn in through traffickers on the internet posing as boyfriends that offer a better life.
It may not feel like at top of mind for everyone, but in some ways we're all personally affected by it.
We don't see it happening right in front of our eyes, but we still need to throw a fit. We still need to do something about it.
Slaveholders, pimps, traffickers, oppressors know that their power and success depends on most people in their communities, in their towns, in their cities, doing nothing. We're angry, we're mad, we're upset about everything under the sun. So why are we as Americans not upset, not outraged at the sex slavery of our boys and girls all across this country? I can't figure
like
it out.
cattle. That Wayfair scandal, where it was like spatulas for like $5,000.
Yeah.
Or they had Walmart even like a shoe. It's the last one. Girl.
It's the last one.
It's girl shoe, size 8. Molly, the Molly shoe. Do you know what I'm saying? And I was just being silly, you know. I don't know what the name was or anything like that.
No.
But they actually had like, you know, the sex, and they'd have the shoe size, but it was really the age, you know. They even had cabinets. That was where Wayfair was, cabinets.
Yeah.
Anyways, the thing is that, you know, 60% of kids are coming unaccompanied.
But they knew that. They don't care about those that are coming in that are terrorists or any of those things. It doesn't matter to them, because at the end it's like, I'm willing to allow 6 people in that absolutely hate America and Americans, as long as I can get 50 to 60 kids in along with them. Hey, that seems like a fair trade to me.
That's exactly right.
It's disgusting.
And you know what's so crazy? When I realized like the whole border open and stuff, I was like, oh my God, all these criminals are going to come here and it's going to be a whole army that they're building. I never thought about the fact that they're actually funneling children through here. Never did I thought about that.
The whole thing is a business between the sex trafficking and also the drugs.
Oh, the cartels. Yeah. And I really think that people need to stop and really start looking in your neighborhoods and paying attention to what's going on. What's going on in your neighborhood? You know, look at in your class and you're a teacher. Look at these children, you know, because you could tell if a child's being abused. Like, you know, let's stop turning a blind eye.
There's no way that you can't. I understand what you're saying, but to say that you know that these children are being abused, just look at the condition of kids all around the world. I mean, and I can't say all around the world, but even in our country, to see the suicide rate and the confusion rate of children, you think that they left your house, went into schools, and then came back and just didn't know who they were?
Oh my gosh.
Seriously?
Yeah, actually.
No, something is happening, but we're not paying attention.
Yeah. No, you're right, because I seen this, I don't know if it was like a group, I was watching something, I don't know what it was, but it was like a whole bunch of families and they were talking. And she was saying, my daughter went in as a freshman. and had a picture of her, and this is what she looked like.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that you tell a child something 14 times, they actually had a number, they start to believe it.
Mm-hmm. They're impressionable.
Yes. So basically, it was like every year she was like, and then till like junior year, she started taking, the hormone pills and things like that. But basically, it was school. Mm-hmm. She went into school one way, and by third year, she was like,
I mean, but you're talking about that as far as like in high school. Mm-hmm. That was something that was happening in colleges, where the kids would go from
oh yes, I remember,
elementary school all the way into high school.
Yeah.
And then finally they'd get into college, and it's like you started out as a freshman. By the time you graduate, it's like, what the hell is going on here?
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now they're reaching deeper, and now they want to get down into the elementary schools. They want to be able to have these conversations with little children. Why are we talking about sexuality from kindergarten to grade 3? Like, why are you so angry? And the fact that they had to even be so dishonest to say that it's a don't say gay bill when that's not the name of it at all.
No.
It's so dishonest, because if we were to come out and say that it's a parental protection act, no person in their right frame of mind would say there's something wrong with this bill. They're against LGBTQ. Nobody would say that. But if we say it's a don't say gay bill, then we can be offended by it. Then we can rally against it because these Republicans are being anti-LGBTQ. Yeah. But it had nothing to do with that. Nope. It had everything to do with protecting children.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about sexuality and preference to kids that are from kindergarten to grade 3? Why are we even doing that?
It's an agenda.
Dishonest. It isn't. It is an agenda.
And how do I say this in the most nicest way?
There's no nice way to say it. It's
there's people who need help, mental help, and instead of getting the mental help, they're allowing them to think certain things because they go along with the agenda.
And it's sad because you can be an adult and not really know who you are. So for me to feed you this, you're very easy to grab hold of it because you have no sense of identity. So, it's interesting to see how people have bought into a lot of things. And I think it's because we don't really pause for a moment to really think.
Yeah. And I think that also it's almost like it's frowned upon to think on your own. You know what I mean? To have your own thoughts because it doesn't fit a certain mold. Do you know what I mean? Like it either has to fit a certain mold. You can't pick and choose. You know what I mean? Like you got to be all the way here or all the way there, which in reality, nobody really is. Because you could take anyone, if they're really sincerely honest with you, there's things they agree with and there's things that they don't in their hearts. Now, some of them will give in because it's like, okay, if I vocalize that I don't agree with this part of what this group likes, then I can't be part of this group. Because remember the dude at the polls. I'm really pro-life, but he even whispered it. You remember that?
Like, I agree, because if I seed a woman, I feel like that's my responsibility. Why are you whispering that? You know what I mean? Like, what's wrong with you being a man and taking care of your responsibilities? There's nothing wrong with that. But I think it goes back to us not having these conversations. Yeah. That's really the issue. But to go to the heart of your message for today.
Yeah, my message is, I like this. So the last video that I put, I liked it a lot. It's like an organization, and that's what they do. They get different people, different communities, and just start educating, like what it looks like, what to look for. Like, cause there's like drop off places, you know what I mean? There's pickups, there's like transactions that, they interfere, So for me, it's not only just like, let's talk about it. It's let's get out here and let's start protecting children in any way that we can. We can't ignore it anymore. And me personally, definitely going to do whatever I can to try to help children, protect children. And I hope you do too. I hope that the things that we showed you in this episode, which I put together, You kind of, you felt like what I feel, like enraged, like I'm mad. I don't want this to keep going on. And you guys wanted all the immigrants here. They're here now. We need to protect those children. We really do. And the women, because you know what? Let me not even women, men, and children, because it's even men too. Do you know?
They are. Yeah. They're going through it too.
Yeah. Because there's people who take them too. And it's weird that people just think women and children.
Yeah.
No, bro. Get yourself a nice young little pepper snapper, and they slave them out.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you have a scripture?
No, because, I just saw the videos now.
I didn't pick a scripture. I was like, that was the one thing that I realized I did not pick.
For me, I think that it's more, it's a very big issue.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to have to get down to the individual. It really has to start back at home. It has to start back at, whoever's watching this video, that you have a heart transformation. Because as much as we want to see the big picture of like the country coming together and whatnot, it really is going to boil down to the individual.
I got it. Okay, so the scripture that I found is Psalms 82:3-4. Defend the weak and the fatherless. Uphold the cause of the poor and the oppressed. Rescue the weak and the needy. Deliver them from the hand of the wicked.
Very good.
Booyakasha. That's what we need to do. We need to... Why do you always gotta look at me like that? That was good. Like I had to say booyakasha.
Because I just didn't think it was a word. But it could have been, tongues.
Yo, shut up, son. No, but like that's why it's our job. Basically, it is our job to take care of the fatherless. Okay, in another translation it says defend the weak and the fatherless, uphold the cause of the poor and the oppressed, rescue the weak and the needy, deliver them from the hand of the wicked. So to me, besides the elderly, children cannot take care of themselves. That's why as much as you want to say they can make decisions on their own, they still live at home with their parents or with some type of guardian, even if they're property of the state, because there's like the foster care system. They still have a guardian. They can't live on their own. So we have to fight for them. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Really thank you for tuning in. And you already know the goal is to break the image of tradition
while showing the beauty of walking in wisdom,
bringing it raw and keeping it 100.
With Christ at the center, you're either going to hate it or love it.
Booyakasha.
That is not a word.
I forgot where I even got that. I got that from somewhere.
All right, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
And then like anytime you talk to somebody and it's like a debate, it's like, yeah, but
January 6th.
Right, like that is your rebuttal. That is like your only rebuttal. You'd be like child trafficking and
January 6th.
Right, like are you kidding me right now?
January 6th.
First of all, if it really did happen, how serious is that?
But January 6th though.
Like if it was legit, I'm just saying, even if it was legit, what happened? Is it really something for you to be like, oh my God?
Excuse me.
AOC. It took me a long time to figure out who was AOC. I was like, why? And then you know what else took me a long time? No, straight up.
Yo.
Straight up. Let me finish.
I'm going to let you finish.
You know what else took me a long time to figure out what it meant?
What?
POC. The fuck? I thought that meant a bad car.
That's POS.
I know. Hit the... Billy, get it. Where, you're not going to put it?
I am going to put it.
Not for nothing. I like that intro. I feel like we really just was like homies. I think we're really getting good at like chemistry with each other. And
yo, you're adorable. I love you.
Why?
Is that the alcohol talking?
Huh? A little bit, but it's real talk.
But we always like this stuff. I've never seen this. This is new for me.
This is why I can't stand these hoes.
I've never seen this.
Oh, cleaned up. Let's get our, the vets, right? Let's get them, good health care and stuff. Because half the homeless, some of them, for the most part, are veterinarians. I'm so sorry. I don't know.
It felt right.
It did. I knew it was wrong, though. I knew it was wrong. I mean, it's about to go down. Let's go ahead and hit that last clip. No?
I think you only have... Mama, that's it.
I'll give you another clip.
No, you didn't.
I didn't?
No.
Oh well. So, one thing's for sure. I did have a clip that I thought I sent you, and that's okay. I thought I sent. People went out of their way.
Wait, just start over. We'll save that for the bloopers. We're not going to throw that in there. Ain't no way, bro. Like, this is a serious moment. You going to talk about some veterinary.
Okay.
So we're back.
Hey, guys.
Not the intro. We're like, where did you go?